So let's check in details the interface zones. The general arrangement now appears at the screen. We are already familiar with the general appearance of the interface, and let's find out more small details concerned to our interface. I remind you that we have some lines, 3 lines from top, then performance area, working area, status line, status bar, and starting from the title bar, here we have a system time, and here we have the name of the terminal in use and vessel's name. In menu bar we have all detailed menu which are available in our software version. In message line we have current not acknowledged alarm placed on appropriate background color. In performance area, first icon what you see is known as a status. In that icon you see information about position reference equipment selected and about the weight calculated for each PRS, and in case if thruster sensor or gyro has any problem or failure, here you will have the indicating circle with a name of the failed equipment group. Next icon is known as a power. It shows you the loads which the system has right now at the moment, and it shows you the amount of power buses available in your configuration. In case if main bus tie breaker between the main buses opened, then here you will have 2 bus indication, and information about connected your bus or opened is also shown here. Also you can see the load bar which shows you in green load still 60%. Next area known as a heading and rate of turn zone. Here you may see the actual vessel's heading value, and it also indicates the direction of turn and the rate of turn value shown also here. Next zone is known as heading deviation zone, and here you may observe the preset up values for your alarms. Alarms here described in dashed vertical lines or solid vertical lines. If setup is done, the lines are solid. If setup not yet performed, the heading alarms are shown in a dashed vertical lines. Next window is changeable and depend on selected mode. If here joystick is selected, then in joystick mode we have indication for joystick. If auto position mode selected, here you will see the position deviation plotter. If auto track mode selected, then you will see the deviation from the track plotter, and so on. So this zone is changeable automatically without the user will and depends on selected mode. In auto position mode, here is shown the deviation alarm presetup. The same story in solid or dashed lines. In solid lines, the presetup for position deviation is shown when the setup is done. This area is a click sensitive. When you click here with the pointing hand with the left click of your trackball, you will receive immediate access to the alarm setup zone. In my case, 8.3 is a deviation from desired position. Our heading wheel may be used for heading control in auto position mode. Center click, I remind you, is to call the menu. Scrolling of the heading wheel, adjustment of the value for the heading setup. Then arrows may adjust the decimals of the heading value parameter. And the buttons around the heading wheel are also click sensitive and may be tuned up to adjust the rate of turn and wheel over point distance, for example, for autopilot mode. Next zone, what you see is a position indication area. Here the coordinates are shown in selected datum and way of interpretation. If you put the cursor on top of the position area, and when the figures here are highlighted in violet color, then you see the all current pre-setups for all parameters which are adjusted by the user. To reach that, you have to put the cursor on top of the position area, and when pointing hand appeared, you have to press on position value. In speed area, you will see the actual vessel speed in selected values. It could be adjusted through the appropriate menu in meters per second or knots. Then our trackball is just an analog of a standard mouse, remember that. And here we have 2 clicks which are dealing with software. The middle click is left for further development. Only right and left click is utilized by DPO, making any adjustment. So left click of trackball and right click of trackball are already discussed. Next zone, what you see is a force plotter area. Here you can see the vector of produced force in green, and then wind sensor selected to give the data to the model. In my case, wind sensor number 1. Then you can see the wind vector acting to the vessel, and current vector calculated by DP. In our case, DP current vector, all other forces which are acting on the vessel. And the top arc shows you demand and feedback on forces applied to turn the vessel on your axis. Those 2 big rectangles, as previously we discussed, are indicating the working area. Right working area could be adjusted by the user with the buttons of the views group. Press any of them to find the appropriate parameter for observation. When I say appropriate parameter, I mean those which are main elements of DP. Reef system information, power information, information about position, sensors group information, also thrusters information, then information about joystick, main coning which may be integrated in your DP panel, and very interesting button known as a hard copy. This button available on case-by-case basis if license is opened on board of your vessel. Left working area adjustable by the right click of the cursor when it's placed on top of the area. As soon as you click, the interactive menu appears and you may select any desired parameter. As for right working area, discussed a couple of minutes ago. And for example, right now you see the power generation menu, or you may with the right click of trackball to select any other like thruster main information or like information about sensors, position reference equipment as I said before. In status line, we have information as I told you about selected menu. When you open the menu and put the cursor on top the sub menu, in status line you will see the short description of the selected item. In status bar, with a set of icons, you see the actual configuration of your DP station. Here there is information about position control. So are you in auto position or any other mode? Are you staying in position or you are moving towards the new set point? Then here there is information about pre-selected modes for use of thrusters. That is known as allocation mode. We will discuss it later. Information about selected center of rotation. Then indication about at least one thruster selected, the green circle, and at least one PRS selected. Also one sensor selected with the green circle. Then information about settings for joystick and information about controller mode and information about the gain in setup. Then also here shown the information about selected axis under auto control like surge, sway and yaw. Arc shows you the yaw or arc responsible about yaw. Also information about selected consequences analysis available here. So gents, we have completed the fast overview of the system